What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Wiley Show. I am your host, Wiley. Okay, so this show, it's a lot that I want to discuss today. A lot of stuff that I want to talk about in the comments. But the first story that I want to get into is Issa Berry and Steve Harvey. Now, mind you, I put a lot of titles in and a lot of subjects in the titles, and we ain't gonna put every subject that we talk about in the title. We are limited of what we can title a video. But Issa Berry is a YouTuber, civil rights worker, and she was granted her restraining order against Steve Harvey. Now, mind you, this was going on for years, but let me read this. Civil rights activist says she finally won her 5-year battle securing a restraining order against the TV personality Steve Harvey. Issa Berry said in 2013 she began helping Harvey's ex-wife Mary on legal matters and he wasn't supportive of the working relationship. Allegedly, that's when Steve threatened and harassing messages began. Black News report. Issa Berry says she filed numerous police reports against the Family Feud host. She claimed that Harvey and his friends attacked her using threatening phone calls, vulgar language, cyberbullying, text messages, emails, and countless other harassment tactics to destroy her soul. On August 18, 2020, Issa Berry was finally granted a restraining order by the Superior Court of San Bernardino County in California. She said that for the last 3 years, Steve Harvey and his constituents has been working towards destroying her soul. The woman says she won't feel justice as has been served until she has received an official police report. She comments that Steve Harvey is a dangerous and ruthless man that hides behind his riches and fame. There's a dark side that resides within his soul. So out of all these years, because I remember like she's like a YouTuber, right? And she was like doing these videos. And at one point, I didn't want to really believe it that she were getting harassed because I just thought that she was just obsessed with Steve Harvey. Then she would play these threatening messages. She would leak these messages. She would leak this and she would leak that. And I'm like, what in the world is going on with Steve Harvey and with this Issa Berry lady? Like she kept going live and she was like, well, this is going on, that is going on. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And what gets me with this, so what that they was helping out your ex-wife, just leave the lady alone. The lady was kind of like scared. I mean, Issa Berry, she was scared to leave her home. I remember her and Tasha K got into it. Because if you remember, Tasha K was helping and covering this Steve Harvey story. And Tasha K and Issa Berry, they fell out. And then Issa Berry was like, well, no, Tasha K was like, you're afraid to leave your home. You're afraid. And because the lady will not hardly leave her house. Now, I don't think she does YouTube anymore. I think she stopped doing YouTube because I think it was getting too much. They would post nasty messages and comments about her, and it was just really terrible. I remember I used to watch her videos, and I remember she even came to like the beef sector, and she would even, talk with VS, and they were communicating and stuff like that. But I felt bad for her that she was yet going through this. And I was like, wow. Because then I started to switch. I'm like, well, maybe is this true that, Steve Harvey is doing these things? Is it really true that he's out here, sending people after her to threaten her? And all of this is like allegedly, but the restraining order was finally granted. So out of all of these years, since 2013 all the way now, this is like couple of years in the making. So now she have this restraining order against Steve Harvey. So he have not responded. I'm looking right here. Nope, he have not responded. I'm looking here in the messages. I haven't got any updated messages of him actually responding to the situation. So this is what it is. So I'm definitely going to say this to Issa Berry. I wish her the best. I hope that, she stays safe. If this is true, that means this woman was harassed for years. For years, she was going through this. So I hope that this is the last time she had to deal with this. I hope that the last time that she had to deal with a threatening phone call, etc., because nobody should have to go through this what she went through as a black woman. Now, she was just helping out his ex-wife, Mary. That's the only thing she was doing, is helping his ex-wife out to get a lawyer, to get this. But of course, since he felt threatened because he didn't want Mary, his first wife, to get anything. Okay. I think he got custody of the child. He didn't want her to have nothing. I think she even said on an interview, I believe this was Mary, she said on an interview one time that he turned the whole child against her. And so it was like, it's really, really terrible. And she was like, how can he do this when he didn't have nothing? I was there. So they had a very, very nasty divorce. And I don't even know if she really got that much money from him. I really have to do some research on that. So I'm definitely up there praying that she get it together. So congratulations to you, Issa Berry. And I'm happy that you finally got your restraining order. She was his second. Okay, Mary was his second wife. Okay. Mary was his second wife. So wow, he been married all many times, and he be giving relationship stuff like that. And never could stay married. That's how I never could take him serious as a relationship. Because if that's your second wife, then you marry a third time. So you married to somebody else, that means you've been married 3 times. And yet you're gonna try to tell somebody about relationship, about why did I get married, about this and this. And you've been married. I never listened to a man that been married multiple times trying to give me relationship advice. If you've been married multiple times, obviously you are a failure. And I would not, listen to you. I stopped dealing with Steve Harvey when I heard that, I stopped listening to Steve Harvey when he was doing his show and he literally left all of his people in Chicago and got a whole new staff. And then another piece I stopped messing with Steve is when his staff members, he would say, I don't want nobody to come in my room, nobody to bother me. He left like a nasty message. And I just stopped. I stopped dealing with him. Like, what is going on with this man? Why is he this nasty and mean? So I started dealing with him a lot. I'm like, what the world? I am not really checking for this man. What is he doing? I'm not really for that. So it was a lot of peace. I was like, I'm not really checking for him, because he's just doing some things that I don't agree with. So I'm like, I ain't really with that. I'm gonna move on the side, and all of that. I just, some with his character, some with his vibe. It just didn't mess around. Okay, no. And then they said the third time is a charm. No, I'm not with a man that been married 3 times, and you trying to tell me about my life. Absolutely not. I'm not listening. I don't want to hear it at all. Moving right along. Okay, now I want to get into this next segment into Joe Budden. Joe Budden, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get into Joe Budden. This was like a takedown of Joe Budden. I don't know what was going on. I was out there doing research that he allegedly asked, Spotify for $250 million as a deal. He wanted total ownership of his podcast. His podcast is not number 1 on Spotify. He had failed on the podcast, so his podcast is not number 1. So now he wanted 250 million because Spotify has been, they have been getting the rights of these networks, of these podcast networks. They have very successful shows. And so Joe Budden felt like, Spotify have done me wrong and I want more money. So I was doing research. They said, some people saying that Joe Budden is requesting 250 million. What I believe that he need, I believe that his podcast is a great podcast. I think for the culture, I don't know if y'all can see culture, okay, because the lights are on. But I think that his podcast is popular, but I don't think that it's $250 million popping. I think that he need a $10 million deal from Spotify, maybe a $10 million deal, but not a $250 million deal. I would say maybe a $10 million deal would be great. But anywho, he was putting this out. Him and Charlamagne were going at it. They both were just going back and forth with it. But then it started to come out that Joe Budden did something to his dogs. And Joe Budden did this. And Joe Budden did that. Let me see if I can play these audio clips. Let me see if I can play these audio clips because it was really terrible, man. This man going through a lot. So I'm gonna play some of this audio of Joe Budden of what he was explaining because I want you all to hear this man talk. So first of all, I want to get to the first clip of what he talked about. He don't hit women. He don't F dogs. So let me play that one and then I'm play the second one.
Fuck dogs. I'm not here to talk to the people that believe I abuse the very women that I have taken care of. It's just not who I am. It's not who I've been. And this comes off 2 weeks of me exposing some truths about different corporations, Spotify, iHeart. I won't say that this is a calculated smear campaign because I don't think it's that calculated. I just think people are stupid. And if I got to come on here and tell y'all that I don't hit women and I don't fuck dogs every day, then I will. If I have to come on here and address my past, fuck dogs. I'm not here to talk to people.
Wow. So let's go to this one.
Or my assumed past, I will. The people that know, and you don't get where I'm trying to go without some turbulence or without people throwing rocks. I just want me to be taken out of all of this. That's what I would like. I would like for Joe to be taken out of whatever messy shit went on.
So you hear that. Then I want to get, this is Joe Budden, and this is what Joe Budden had to say this, responding to, I believe this is X, about the abuse allegations. So let's play on that.
August 28th, we were supposed to go to court. I stopped all communication with Rocky. Fuck her. I'm over it. I just distance myself from people. I never say why. I never mention it. It's not important. 2 days, maybe 3 days before August 28th, Cynthia and I came to a mutual understanding that we did not want to go through courts about things. And we met up with our attorneys, and the attorneys figured out support and visitation and all of this other private stuff, right? And all of the horrible things that were written in that paper were supposed to be torn up, never to see the light of day, because these are not court papers. These are not court papers. These are not court papers. These are lawyer papers. These papers never made it to court.
So it's not court papers. He said these are lawyer papers. Let's continue to listen.
There was no docket number on these papers. These were claims, but they didn't go to court. I was so proud of Cynthia. Super proud of Cynthia. And later we found out, we had a conversation, and she says, you know, I noticed some things on my own about Rocky. I'm removing myself. I'm distancing myself. That bitch is toxic, so forth and so on. And that was that. When they had their breakup, their public, well, they're not public falling out, and they just kind of separated from each other, neither one of them said a thing. Sin didn't say a thing. Rocky didn't say a thing. And Rocky has spent the year attempting to bash me or drag my name. I've never slept with Rocky. I have no business dealings with Rocky. I have no idea why she's feeling what she's feeling. I think that she's sick. I think that she's bipolar.
Well, wait a minute. Oh, God. She said think that Rocky gets sick and think she have bipolar. Oh, wow. Let's play a little bit of that.
She has dementia. She got COVID. I mean, it's not for me to tell her.
Did he just say that she have COVID? Oh, my gosh. Joe, come on. No.
Business. I just don't think she's doing well. So we pray for her. So yesterday, when the only person who possibly had these papers and this phone call, which is Rocky, leaked this stuff. I'm not certain if somebody's paying her. I don't know who's on the squad. I don't know shit. But when she leaked these things, I thought it would be best for me to shut up and actually let Sin speak to my character, speak to the man that I am, speak to the father I am, just speak to who I have been for mad long. And for whatever reason be, at 10 p.m., she replied, and didn't address it the way I would have preferred it to be addressed. But it's cool. It's emotional. It's going through things. I get it. But bottom line, why do men have to get involved in toxic women shit? This is toxic women shit. This has nothing to do with me. They had a falling out. I can't speak to the falling out. I don't know. But I didn't feel like I came away looking any better after that video. I didn't. So here I am to speak for myself to the people that I've been speaking to. I'm not here to talk to the people that believe I fuck dogs. I'm not here to talk to the people that believe I abuse the very women that I have taken care of. It's just not who I am. It's not.
And he played that. So listen, I don't believe Joe have done any of those things. What I believe that this is a take-down approach. These women are coming out saying these things, and this is being fueled by some powerful people. I believe that this is a takedown approach trying to discredit Joe Budden is because he spoke up to a powerful outlet, which is Spotify. As soon as he's speaking up and said that he want equality, he want to be treated as a man, and he want to respect on his idea, his baby, which is his podcast, and he want to be paid for what he is worth, and he believe that he's worth millions of dollars. Soon after that, then you're getting allegations on Hollywood Unlocked. Then they're bringing up dog allegations. Then they bringing up all of this stuff on the regular. You bringing up all of this after the whole Spotify gate. Now, gosh, I really want to get into Charlamagne. So him and Charlamagne get into it about the whole Spotify, iHeart, etc. Soon as they get into it, Charlamagne, a couple of days later, iHeart announced that Charlamagne will debut a new podcast network. Let me see if I can bring that up so I can read it to you all. This is what I call business at its finest, and it could be a messy business too. Let me see if I can bring this up. Charlamagne the God announced, iHeart announced a partnership with Charlamagne the God that he will have a network of shows. Let me see if I can bring it up. Here we go. Charlamagne the God launches the Black Effect Podcast Network with iHeart Media. That will include shows from the 85 South Show, Jess Hilarious, Tiffany Haddish, and more. And this is what is on They Put Talk. They said, looks like Charlamagne the God has something special up his sleeve. He managed to partner up with iHeart Media to launch the Black Effect Podcast Network, anchored by his own syndicated radio show, The Breakfast Club. The Black Effect Podcast Network is slated to debut this fall with 18 podcasts on iHeartRadio and other podcast platforms by Charlamagne. According to iHeart Media, the venture is positioned to become the world's largest podcast publisher dedicated to Black listeners and voices in Black culture. The Black Effect will include shows like some of your faves, such as comedian Jess Hilarious, the 85 South Show host, Ebony K. Williams, Michelle Williams, Dwight Howard, and more. Additionally, the parties plan for the Black Effect Podcast Network to produce limited series podcasts in conjunction with creators, music artists, actors, sports stars to support their upcoming films, music release, and related projects. The vision of Black Effect Podcast Network, he added, is to amplify, elevate, empower emerging and established talent. Our goal is to shift the narrative from Black creators signing deals to instead forming legacy partnerships that build generational wealth while allowing each creator to have a stake in their future as a long-term partner with iHeart. It is an honor to make history with them. And this is like, soon as all of that, then Charlamagne the God announced that he have a podcast that is going to debut a network that's going to debut with iHeart. And he's been criticizing Joe Budden because it was like, you cannot compare your one podcast to a network. Okay, it's different because a network probably have top 10 shows in their network versus your one podcast. This is something that I think is a brilliant business decision, but I also feel as though that we don't want to poop on Joe Budden when he want what is worth, because that have happened to Monique, that happened to, her and others that have stood up before her asking for equality, and then they get thrown under the bus. But you got to listen to the message. What they are saying and what Joe Budden is saying is pay me for my worth. But with that iHeart deal, you don't own the podcast. Now, Roland Martin had a deal with iHeart. He just signed a deal with iHeart a couple of weeks ago. He still owns the Roland Martin Unfiltered podcast. 100% owns the content. He licensed his podcast through the network so they can promote and market the podcast. But yet he still owns he owns the content. He's still the owner of that podcast. So what Joe Budden is fighting for, complete ownership, what it's worth. And I hope that he get his own network of a podcast and work with some of these creative people that are on YouTube that are getting these clicks and views on YouTube and usher them into the network. I think that would be dope. Usher them into the network, let them come into the network and do a podcast. And especially some of these YouTubers that are massive and viewership on YouTube. It's a lot of them. I know 10 of them that could be great on his network. And I think that he probably need a network, because how podcasts work, you get more leverage when you're running a network than versus one particular podcast, unless that you negotiate great deals. Now, one podcast that I did get into that I do love listening to is what podcast is that? Oh my gosh, it's with my brother. What is his name? I think it's The Read. Is that the podcast that I get into? I think it's The Read. I think that's the name of the podcast. I haven't listened to it lately because I'm so busy doing the Wiley Show, but the podcast that I used to listen to on the regular was The Read. That was one of the podcasts that I listened to, but I used to listen on the regular. But the podcast that I do listen to on the regular is I listen to The Breakdown with Sean King. Now, I listen to that podcast on the regular because that podcast is short. It talk about it talk about what's going on in the world, and it also talks about what's going on with Black Lives Matter, etc. So that podcast, I love to listen to The Breakdown, because one thing about The Breakdown, I literally get my life while listening to it. And The Breakdown with Sean King, I've been listening to that podcast since it first started. Even if I miss some shows, I might be bored or I might be driving a long distance, and I let the podcast play. Nobody supported Monique Doe, so to hell with Joe. His podcast sucks. Joe never spent a day in jail, so who cares if he chose to walk away from Spotify? That's on him. Oh, wow. Okay. Moving right along. Because she is definitely letting it be known. She said, who cares that she moved it? Now, I do want to get into this, though. I do want to get into this. Let me see. This is something that I was, reporting on, and it has been going on. And I said, hey, let me talk about it on the Wiley Show. And this is Tamar Braxton and her boyfriend. They are, were in the news, and Tamar Braxton boyfriend got a restraining order against Tamar. And I want to say something. I was reporting on this yesterday, but I forgot to talk about this. So yesterday, I was listening to Gagging, which was yesterday. I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Jason Lee got a new show called Gagging. So, of course, he has Madison on the show, and he leaked the text messages of, the recent text message between him and Tamar. And during that text message exchange, she admitted that it was the boyfriend that was abusive and not her. And then he showed a picture of her arm. During that exchange and then Maddie responded, she said to Jason Lee, you should have never posted that text message If you did not have Tamar permission, Jason Lee, you were wrong to post that text message, because he tried to cover it up and say, well, she gave me the permission to post the text message, and she and you it did, because at first he said she didn't. And then T.S. Madison was like, it was wrong for you to post her messages, because those conversations that you had with Tamar and you, that was it was private between yourself. So definitely, I'm not with that you put the messages out, because Jason Lee spilled all of the tea. While spilling all of the tea, T.S. Madison, she made a comment during that show that said, if it's true, then he need to dump, Tamar need to dump this man. Like, you don't need to be with a man that's abusive, etc., etc. Then let's say yesterday, David, which is Tamar's ex-boyfriend now, went and did an interview, Instagram Live or whatever, and he went on the live and said he have never, ever, let me see if I can pull up what he said and play that audio. Give me a second. I was downloading the stuff. Let me see if I can bring that up, because he had a lot to say. I don't want y'all to let his words speak. I'm going to bring it up. Give me a second. Because he said, I never put my hands on a woman. I never did this. I never did that. He had a lot of stuff to say. Let me see if I can bring that up, because they were talking about this on yesterday. Do they have that? They were talking. Y'all ain't got it? Okay, it is. Okay, it is. Okay, here we go. Let me play it.
Ever. I never will ever put my hand on a woman. Ever. I grew up in a household. My parents were together for 50 years. They were married. I lived in the home for 21 years, but I observed them for over 40 years. And my mom and dad were the most loving and kind couple to each other. I never saw my dad hit my mom. I never heard my mom hit my dad or see it. My mom used to call the boys. There were 3 of us. There were 3 boys and 3 girls. My mom used to call the boys, and she used to tell us, do you ever see your dad hit me? Do you ever see your dad lay a finger on me? Never one time with my dad. I never witnessed domestic assault growing up, ever. Not from a friend, not from a cousin, I never did. I didn't grow up in that environment. My mom also used to tell us, ever.
Okay, that was the first clip with David. He said he never ever put his hands on Tamar. Let me play this clip.
So do you ever see your dad cheat on me? My dad never cheated on my mom, not one time. Not that I know of, not that she admits, even after she's 81. She's here now, just for spiritual support. She's my spiritual support, my mom. And so I grew up with 2 covenants that I made to myself, and 2 covenants that I made to my God. I would never hit a woman, and I would never cheat on the woman that I was dating or I was married to. 2 covenants I have never broken. I would never hit a woman. Any man who hits a woman, God gave us women to be our partners, to be our rock, to be our strength. You hit a woman, you deserve to go to jail for a long time. Women are not as strong as us physically. You do not touch women. Not in my home. Not ever. So do you ever see your dad?
Okay, let's go to that way. He says never cheated, and he said not ever. Let's get to this clip.
You never cheat on your girl, ever. Not one time. The moment a guy lays a hand on you, he deserves to go to jail. The moment a guy cheats on you, you deserve to leave him. I will never do those 2 things. I never, ever laid a hand on Tamar Braxton or any woman in my entire life. What you've been told is false. It's a criminal investigation that's going on. I'm the victim, and the truth will come to light. I'm really hoping there's no issues of perjury. on the other side. It really is, it's important that you can say whatever you want on social media. Don't tell the cops something that's not true. And I told the cops exactly what happened. I was a victim, never let it happen to her, and never, ever, ever, ever will let it happen to a woman. And that's the last of that. Now let's talk about you never cheat on your girl, ever.
They say never did it. He never did it, people. In the comments, they were dragging him on that IG. They were calling him a scam. They were calling him a clout chaser. Some people say, I think the only people you needed to address was your family if something was sent to them. They said, it's the lack of eye contact for me. He looking at the YouTube live thing. They said, I'm lost. So wherever he was at, they were letting him have it in the comments. So you all, whatever it is, I'm definitely going to open up the phone line. So if anybody want to call in and give their thoughts on it, I definitely will allow you to call in to speak on this matter. Let me see. I was also going to read to you Tory Lanez representative. But before I get to that, I want to say this about Tamar. I just hope and pray that when she gets out of this relationship, that she never returns. I hope that she leave this David where he's at in the dust, and that she focus on self. She already left the mental institution where she had to get some treatment. Now you are in a situation where you were in another alleged abusive relationship. So now I hope and pray that she gets out of this relationship and never return and focus on self. Don't rush and get into another relationship until you work on yourself, and so you don't get caught up in another toxic relationship. This is very, very toxic. Do I believe both of them been laying hands on each other? Yes. Do I believe he's innocent? No. Do I believe that Tamar was the only one to get? I believe that they were toxic to each other. I believe that they both was going back and forth to each other, putting hands on each other. And if you are in a relationship where both of y'all are putting hands on each other, both of y'all are going back and forth, you know what you need to do is let go and move on with your life. Because that to me is not good. If you are in a relationship and you got to slap, punch, kick, this, that, just to, because that's not a good relationship. Now, some people might say, oh, what do you mean? It's not. I think that's very, very toxic to be in a relationship like that where you're putting hands on each other. I'm just not. Do I believe that David is controlling? Absolutely. I believe it's part of his culture. I believe culturally, those Nigerian men, of you dating somebody from Africa, and me even being around African men and working with African men, they're very controlling. Some of them are very, very controlling when it comes to their women. They don't like it when you try to get authority over them. They love you to be submissive. And they do not like it when you have too much mouth, too much of an opinion, and they are the kings of the household. And they don't, because I work with plenty of them. And it was some African men I used to work, they did not have a good time, working with a female, supervisor. It was like issues and problems because they're not used of having a woman of authority over them. Okay. They're not. They're not used to that. So they come at you hard. And so I'm looking forward to it. You best believe that show is going to drop, and it's going to be a high-rated show. Why? Because of all of this drama. The reason why that show is going to be hot is because everybody is talking about this drama. Everybody is talking about Tamar, now this David thing, now the order, restraining order, now this police report, now Jason Lee posted his text message. And when that reality show come out, everybody's gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it and everything like that. Everybody's gonna watch it. Okay? I agree with you. I believe they both have control issues. They both were toxic for each other, and one ain't innocent over the other. I'm not gonna play that he all evil and Tamar didn't do nothing wrong, that she all innocent. I think both of them are toxic and they need to go. But I don't believe that all African men have that approach. Some do, some don't. But the African men that I have been around have that controlling spirit. And I've been around a lot of them. I work around a lot of them. Because in healthcare, they in the healthcare industry, very, very heavy. And I even talked to some, and they said they love it when they don't love it when women try to overrule them. That most of the one I have spoken to believe that the man is ahead of the woman, and they display that. Okay, that's what I believe. Not all men are that way. Okay, and from Africa, you get some that are treat you like a king. I mean, treat you like a queen, and respect you, and let you allow you to be heard, and not overtalk you, and don't control you. Not all African men is controlling, but some that I have spoken to do have some controlling traits. And I just believe it's how you're conditioned, culturally speaking. It's how you are raised. That's what I believe. Okay. So I said what I said. And of course, we can open the phone lines if you disagree with me, and we can have a whole conversation. Now, in my last subject, before I open up the phone lines, I want people to call in. I want to get into Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion one time. So Tory Lanez, I'm trying to find his rep. His rep had made a comment in so many words. The rep is denying what happened and saying that y'all is rushing the gun, that Tory Lanez is innocent. Stop up here saying that, he's guilty. Y'all just running with a narrative, listening to Megan. And let me tell you that Megan is wrong, and he is, he is not guilty. So the rep pretty much was responding to a fan. I think that was a photographer. I can't really remember because I was trying to find the actual post. And I don't know why I ain't screenshot it. But the rap did respond to the fan. So regardless of this whole Tory Lanez thing, again, I think that it was a very terrible situation. I'm really knowing that he did do this to Megan. I'm 100% agreeing that he did do this to Megan. The question is why didn't he go to jail for it? Why he's still not in jail for it? And will Megan Thee Stallion cooperate with the police? Because at first, she did not tell the police. Then she recanted. So I don't know if that's going to hurt or help this case. I'm all total against domestic violence. But if you're being abused, you have to work with the cops. You have to work with the cops. Then another piece about Megan Thee Stallion is that sister girl do have a drinking problem. When I look at the drinking problem and look at her drinking, I think that sister is addicted to alcohol and is dangerous and is borderline, and it's a borderline an addiction. Because anytime the bodyguard had to come up and take the bottle out of her hand, first of all, that looked very weird. They look like they smashing. But the bodyguard had to come in the pool. This was like a couple of days ago. He had to take the bottle, and you could just tell that she was drunk, and she's live streaming. I do believe when she gets drunk, she say things out of her mouth. And yeah, but no matter what she said out of her mouth, that does not give you the right to go get your Glock and go hit somebody, okay? But I definitely believe that she does have a drinking problem, okay? That's just what I'm going to say. And I stand by it. I do believe sister girl, because they would drag her in the car. It was like, what is she drinking again? It was like bright outside, day outside. And I'm like, what the world is she drinking all that? And then the guy was trying to take the bottle out of her hand. He was, and some folks should not be drinking. However, she was beautiful and intelligent sister. That's her cover. And some folks should not even, always out there drinking. Put the bottle down. She gets sloppy and it appears unhealthy. You clearly see it. I see it. Put it down. Put down the bottle. Because when I saw it, didn't have her makeup, and I'm like, and she always in the pool drinking. I don't know what is the obsession with 1501 artists, that their obsession is in that pool and with a drink. Well, now is the time for the people to speak up and to call in. We don't want this show to be lengthy because y'all be letting me have it in the comments. So let's go to the phone line, 646-716-8447. Last four, 4589. Caller, you're on the air. 4589, you're live on the air. Hello.
Hi, yes. I just wanted to talk about, how you doing today, Wiley?
I'm doing good.
That's good. I wanted to talk about the subject with Tory Lanez and Megan.
Yes.
All the subjects really I want to speak on a little bit. But the Tory Lanez and Megan, you are right. Everything that you're saying definitely is right about Megan. She to me, she just masks the alcohol to mask the pain from her mom, her dad, her grandma. I think she just uses alcohol, basically. You know, she pretty much just uses the alcohol. And then for me, she needs a guardian, like over her for me at this point. She has nobody. If you really just pay attention, she really has nobody in her corner. So somebody needs to take her under their wing, and they need to just do, you know, a lot of maybe just talking with her and letting her know you don't need this alcohol. You need to talk it out. You need to go get a therapist, or, you know, maybe just go get a therapist. And that's what I have to say on Megan. For Tamar and her David situation, for me, I don't know what to believe at this point, because Tamar, I feel like at this point, Tamar has took up for him in a most recent post when she tried to kill herself. And she was like, you know, David was by my side. Everybody was saying that he was the reason why she tried to do it, or that maybe he had something to do with it, just from the phone call to the police that he made. And she came out and immediately, the first thing she did was take up for David. So for me, I don't know what to believe right now. I'm kind of just like, what, like?
The reason why, with me, man, I'm very skeptical of this story because it's a reality show, right? And anytime you're dealing with a reality show star, you got to be very skeptical. Is this a storyline? Is this something for clicks and views? So the reason why you have to give this a side eye, because this is about they have taped the reality show, and is it coming out tonight? And is this all publicity? Because when David got on the line, he started talking about the WeTV contract. Now Tamar getting a restraining order. This sounds like for their reality show. The cameras are rolling, in my humble opinion.
Right. Exactly. Somebody said that in the comments, and I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. That this is for her show. I'm like, wow, this could be, and if this is sad. Like it's sad what these stars have to go through to just get some clout nowadays. Like you're gonna stage a whole, killing yourself, then she did that for real. I don't mean, but just still, it's just all of this plays into that show for me now that people are. You mentioned that, somebody in the comments mentioned that. It's probably all for her show, and it's messed up that she has to go this route. And if it is true, and it's not for the show, then I'm praying for her, because she's had an abusive life her whole life. So
all right,
this is just more abuse added on to it.
Well, thank you so very much for calling in, sister, and good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. What was the other topic you were talking about? I wanted to speak on that too. I just forgot.
Well, you talked about
topic.
it. You talked about it, Tamar. You talked about Tory Lanez. So those are like the main two.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sister.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, have a great morning, Wiley, and keep pushing. I'm always gonna call in and give my 2 cents. So and I'm always gonna give you your views so you can get your coin.
Thank you. Thank you, sister. You have a good day.
All right.
All right, now. 8776, caller, you on air.
Hey, Wiley, how are you?
All right. How are you?
Okay. Listen, I have just one comment. This thing with Tory Lanez, it ain't finished yet. Something's gonna come out, and I don't know what it is. Too many moving parts. You got the Kardashians canceling these things. You got Kanye was saying about Cali stinks and all this other stuff. I don't know. It's something to that. I don't know what it is, but it's going to come out, and I don't think it's going to be good for Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh wow! Why is that?
Thing, because it's something. It's a piece missing, and it's a vital piece, and I don't know what it is, but something is missing, and this man playing the long game. Something's going to come, and it's just because it doesn't fit. The pieces doesn't fit all the way. And she should have never said anything from the door and settled this stuff behind closed doors, because now this, I don't know, something is amiss here. And all the pieces are not lined up correctly. So it's going to be something, and I don't know what it is. And I will hate to see something that's going to mess up her career, because she has a long career ahead of her. So it could just be one thing, but you know how the social media do. They'll take that one thing and they'll twist it and blow it up into a mountain.
So as of right now, you feel like something else is going to happen in this. We haven't heard all concerning this story.
I think some stuff will come out. Yeah. It's going to come out. You know, they say if it don't come out in the wash, it'll come out in the rinse. The second thing with Tamar, first of all, her boyfriend don't got no business in her business. Period. It's a boyfriend. They come and go. He called 911 and said she was trying to commit suicide. Maybe she wasn't trying to commit suicide. Maybe that stuff happened. He put that in the atmosphere, not her. He did. So, you know, like I said, your boyfriend don't got no business in your business. If it was a husband, different story. But until you married, that's your boyfriend. Fiance, all that shit, save it, because it's your husband. And that's about it. I don't have anything else to say. Oh, with this Joe Budden, man, they're coming after him like crazy, but he's still standing. And they can't take it, so they're going to come out with some more stuff. But they came out with little serious things that they could. And I believe Charlemagne, it got a lot to do with it. I'm not saying for sure because I don't know. But it just seemed, the timing seemed kind of off. And if Charlemagne moving like this behind the scenes,
but in the other businesses, this is bringing more exposure to Joe Budden. Now people that have not been listening to Joe Budden podcast, now they like, okay, I'm interested. Now me, I don't know when his podcast air, but I definitely will be going over there and downloading Spotify just to go hear Joe Budden podcast because I'm interested and I'm nosy. So are you a listener to Joe Budden podcast?
Oh yes, I listen to him. He keeps you current. I like him. Like, because the things that he talk about, it be real stuff. And he put you down on game. Now, as far as Spotify, he won't be there for only a couple more weeks, and then he out of there. But, Joe Budden, he keep you up on game. He talk real stuff. Like, I don't care, what people say or whatever. When he talks, and he's explaining stuff, and maybe he don't know it all, but he explains it from a layman perspective, and it be real. And you know how people say if you had half a brain, you'll be dangerous. I'm telling you, and I think that's what I get from. Well, but that danger, and he's that danger to the system. And I think Charlemagne, and I can't say that he did, but I think he got a lot to do with it. And if he did do these things, he just finished.
Right. I don't believe the man did that to his dog. I believe that Joe Budden jokes a lot. And what they do, because they do it on the Wiley Show, is you can say a joke, and they can take your joke and add so much lies to the joke and really make it seem to be. He jokes a lot. And I think, like, even myself, you have to be very careful what you joke about or what you say, because people can take that and spin it into something that is not. So I think he was joking about his dog. And while joking about it, they spent it into something, disgusting, as though he out here actually doing that. He was joking, clearly joking, but when people want to take down approach, they will use that, and they're using that to take him down.
But listen, let me tell you something. Now, if you think white America is going to be mad at Joe Budden for jacking his dog off, then you don't understand white America. He just became a hero in their eyes. Are you kidding me?
Lord.
Are you kidding me? Do people really get that? I mean,
but is that illegal? Is that against the law? You can't do that to your dog, right? Is that against the law? You can't do that. Some people sleep with their dog.
You can't have in some states you can't have penetration. It ain't saying nothing about petting your dog. Let me tell you something. I gotta you know
what?
But I got a kitty cat. Well, I got a cat.
You got a kitty cat.
I just heard myself. I got a cat, and she less than a year old. When she gets I have to rub her back. I don't be playing with nothing else.
So you don't play at her kitty cat. You just rub her. Okay.
So let me tell you something.
What?
People think that Joe Budden is gonna be canceled by white America because he was petting his dog and giving his dog some relief. These people don't understand. That's what's wrong with us now. We don't really understand white America. That he is a hero. He is a hero now in the eyes. Please, Anyway,
I don't believe it. Because with me, they keep saying, and maybe some people call in and let me know, because I am not a big fan of Joe Budden because I'm a creator, so I don't listen to his podcast like that. Maybe I need to pay attention because everybody's talking about Wiley. You don't know his character. You don't know his character either. I'm just giving my opinion. But if he's guilty, he's guilty. But I don't see that with Joe Budden to be out here, racking off his dog. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that.
That man loves his dogs. Let me tell you something. Them dogs, when they were the best treated dogs in the world, he loves his dog. You can't, I don't know, whatever it took to keep his dog alive. Let me tell you something. When I was in boot camp and my dog died up here, I tried to get emergency leave and everything. I love my dog. My daddy gave me that dog. I said, no, I'm going to get my dog. My dog died. And to this day, the man who was responsible for my dog dying, I still don't like him. He still can't come. He can't even come around me.
So he can't. So that man can't play your kitty cat.
No. That man come around me. No. I was in boot camp and they had the physical classes. People love their animals. You can't be messing around with these people animals.
Oh gosh. Bye. Wow. Okay. Well, the number is 616-716-8447. And people is like dragging me talking about why you don't know his character. I'm giving my personal opinion because we all don't really know what it really is. We give our opinion because we're not with Joe Budden 24/7. Okay. We're not in his home 24/7. We're not in it when he's in the restroom. So we don't know what he does around his dog. But what I will tell you is I just doesn't feel in my spirit. I don't feel in my spirit that he have done those malicious things. I don't feel that. I don't. And if you feel that way, you can always, call in and you allow me to, talk about it. And we can have that conversation. If you're free, if you're not working, or if you're not humping, you could definitely hit the number. But because even like yesterday, speaking about the show, I was getting dragged. Your shows are too long. Who's gonna watch a 2-3 hour show? We got 242 million people. Number one, and number two, we went together. We chopped up the episodes, and these people, where they at now? And then you had another. I want to say this because ain't nobody else calling in. If you call in, I get back on subject. I'm gonna ad lib really quickly. Then you had people. Oh my God, you just talk about this. Then when we interview people, where you at? No longer in the comments. So when people criticize the Wiley Show, when I don't see them in there when we're interviewing artists that got when we interview Alonzo, he was a young man. He's a young man, was on he had got permission by the Prince estate. Now they invited him to do a concert to sing some of Prince songs. He got the number 26 record on iTunes. The 21, he's the 21 spot of the record, Sex and You. So we interviewed this guy. He was on The Voice. So we had him on the show yesterday. And all these people that criticize Wiley, they went in that chat. So when people criticize the show, when it's popping, I don't pay them no mind because they only come to complain. But the core supporters gonna be there when we interview all these other type people. And it was an incredible interview. It was a dope interview. If you did not check that interview out, go and check it out. Alonzo, he will have his live concert this week. Let me put that up here. Give me a second. I want to post that up there really quickly. He will have straight live concert that will be on Stream Live. You can download that. I downloaded, already scheduled that, added it to my calendar. This Friday, he's having a concert. And so I'm here for it. And then after that concert, I will be going live to review it and to talk about it. He got a band. I mean, the brother can go. He can sing, very, very talented. We had a beautiful conversation on yesterday. So if you all missed that interview, it was great. Then we interviewed Timothy Bland, and people were purchasing his book yesterday. And he said, my sales went up, Wiley, because of your, telling people to purchase the book. And also, that was great. So then he got some more sales because of the interview. So this show is so diverse that we interview people, we talk about different subjects, but when we talk about subjects that is a popular subject or somebody, then that's when you criticize. But you can't say Wiley Show is the only that talk about. That ain't true. We talk about a lot of folks over here at the Wiley Show. I look at the analytics, okay? And we talk about a lot of people over here, a lot of subjects we cover over here. Even now, we chop the show up to smaller segments. So if you don't want to watch a long, lengthy 2-hour show or a long 1-hour show, we chop it up into smaller segments so you can catch that, right? Somebody said, I'm not criticizing the Wiley Show. I'm speaking about the character of Joe he exhibited over the years. Well, that's your opinion. You can call in. I just don't believe it. This is my opinion. I know how he can sing, but his chocolate skin is sexy. Love his show. You ain't no one, Trick Pony Wiley. There, I said, absolutely. So we talk about a lot of things. We even about to heat up the political coverage because I'm waiting on the debate. I'm waiting on that. We don't get into everything. I'm not going to really start talking about politics really, really heavy until like October, because then we got like about 4 weeks until election. But now I'm getting into this stuff. I listened to your interview with Uncle Tim last night. Amazing job. Well, thank you so much for that. It was great. It was awesome. Did you enjoy it? I enjoyed the interview. It was awesome. Y'all love my hat. I love my hat. I had purchased this hat, and I said, oh, it was in my closet. I was like, oh, I'm going to put this hat on. Okay? Definitely. Let me take a picture and put this on my Instagram. Give me a second. Let me put this on my Instagram right quick. I love this hat. Let me put this on my IG. Let me put this on my. So, yeah, this show is very diverse, and we encourage the callers to call in and let me have it. I love the callers that call in every day. Okay? The callers, I love y'all. Y'all keep the show moving and growing, and thank you for that. And then now we have other people that's going to be coming on the Wiley Show, and we thank you for people that have gave $1, $5, $10. Y'all make it possible for us to keep the lights on, keep the StreamYard on, keep the Blog Talk on. It's because of your contributions. Y'all keep the show flowing because we do have expenses to run the show. Then we're trying to travel and interview people in different places. Like we're trying to get to Atlanta. We get the donations. We have the budget to go. We would go and we would interview some of your faves in Atlanta that we discussed, and we would be able to see them in the room personally. Okay? All right? Okay? Let me snap the back of my head. Boom! Right there. Okay. Joe has definitely had abuse allegations. He's interview on the Breakfast Club. He admitted to dragging and sit on the pregnant girlfriend's stomach. You got to send me that. Wow. I see. I'm not. Again, you're probably a Joe Budden fanatic, a Joe Budden historian. I'm speaking for this when it comes to the dog. I don't believe it. It is just my opinion. And a lot of people will come out, well, you can call in and give your opinion. I just don't believe with the dog situation. I don't believe it. I believe this is a takedown approach. Where's the police report? Where is the police report? Where is the court documents to say these things? So I'm very, very skeptical. I need to do a little bit more research. So what is going to happen is they're going to put I'm asking you, after we get to with the situation, hold on for 1 second. After we get to the situation, send me the research, send me some stuff that I did not look at, and then I'm going to have to download Spotify to listen to Joe Budden podcast. So when do Joe Budden podcasts come on? Let me know, because I need to listen to his podcast. I don't even have Spotify. I don't. My opinion is based on my spirit. I don't feel like he did it, and that's just my humble opinion. You might disagree with me, but that is just my humble opinion. I don't believe it. Okay. Now, some people in the chat, you might say this, you might say that, but I'm saying this. I don't believe it. It is just my humble opinion. I don't believe it. Okay. I know some of y'all are going to drag me in the comments, so you can drag me, but I don't believe it. Okay. Just subscribe to his channel, Jason Lee Play, and on his podcast. It's on YouTube. Also, he dropped a video on YouTube on Friday and Monday. So tomorrow he have a new podcast coming out. No Joe Fanatic, I'm older than you, and I'm aware of Joe Budden as a public figure. Well, Miss M, you are more than welcome to call in, because, like I said, call in and educate me and school me on it. Call in. We'll set you Saturday on Spotify, Monday and Friday on YouTube. Well, Wednesday and Saturday on Spotify. So on Saturday and Wednesday, you have it. Okay, I'm gonna have to download Spotify. I'm going to have to download Spotify to listen to the podcast. I'm going to have to download Spotify and listen to the podcast right now. Definitely going to have to download Spotify and listen to the podcast. So y'all bear with me. Let me see. I'm going to have to download Spotify, because I want to, because people are saying stuff to me coming at my neck, and I'm like this. This is what I believe. Here on YouTube, will send me the link. If it's all on YouTube, send me the link, and you can send me the link right now so I can watch it while I'm at the dentist's office and stuff like that. So I can watch it. People coming at me about the Joe Budden. Do y'all believe the Joe Budden situation? Press 1 if you believe it. Press 1 if you believe these Joe Budden allegations. Press 2, you don't believe it. Press 1, you believe it. Press 2, you don't believe it. Press 1, you believe the Joe Budden allegations. Press 2, you don't believe it. I'm going to say it again. Press 1 if you believe the Joe Budden allegation. Press 2, you don't believe it. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Press 1, you believe it. Press 2, you don't believe it. Let's see. Somebody said, I'm reading y'all comments. I'm reading y'all comments. One, they said he admitted it. Wow, so he admitted it. They said, love Jason Lee. Okay, 1. Oh, wow. So it's a lot of 1s. Can you tell me why? Wow. 1, he admitted it. Can somebody call in and educate me on that? Somebody said 2. Can somebody call in and educate me on that? Because what are y'all talking about? What have he admitted to? Is I missing something here? I believe iHeartRadio is trying to take him down. So wait. They have it on record. Can somebody call in and educate me on this? Somebody said 356. What? Call in and let me know. Admit it. I'm just trying to see what have he admitted and what recording. See that when I say call in, they don't want to call in because I want to know. I don't know. He admitted on his podcast, his co-host thought he was crazy. He was serious. What have he admitted on the podcast? Let me know. Joe has a heavy drug and alcohol use for many years, using all type of drugs, and these case violent behaviors. That was a comment in the chat. That's what Miss M have said in the chat. They feel the spirit. They feel it in their spirit. That's why. Okay, you tried it. Let's go to the phone. Wow. Okay, 3662 caller, you on the air. Wow, educate me because I don't know.
Ellie.
Hey.
Hey, I was just calling to speak to the Joe Budden situation.
Go ahead, sister.
Okay, I was calling to let you know that I will send you a link. I'll try to find it because
Okay.
I've seen it somewhere. I've seen it somewhere like recently on IG, but I watch him. Joe Budden usually drops on Spotify just to hear it. But the visuals are on YouTube shortly, like a day or two afterwards. And I know I like to watch the visuals, so I don't listen on Spotify.
Okay.
I listen and watch on YouTube, and that drops on Mondays and Fridays.
Okay.
So whatever he drops, when he records and it drops on Spotify on Saturday, the visuals drop that Monday on YouTube, so you can watch them.
Okay.
So Spotify get it first, but you can watch it on Monday on YouTube.
On Monday on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out because so what I'm saying is he will probably respond to this on Monday.
Yeah, probably Saturday if you just want to listen to it on Spotify, but
Okay.
if you want to watch it, it'll be on YouTube on Monday.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. Thank you so very much.
And the thing about the dog, there's been clips going around from his YouTube video when he recorded the dog sitting on the couch with him and he's jerking the dog off. Like he's doing it. So that's why so many people are in the comments saying, you know, they believe it because he's there. If he's saying it, that he gives his dog relief and he's sitting there playing with the dog on the video, on the podcast, like right there so you can watch it. So I'll try to find that and send you a link to it, to your IG. Because I follow you on IG, but he's definitely doing it in real time and has admitted to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Wow, thank you. All right, y'all. We got two other callers in here. If anybody follow me on IG today, I will follow you because a lot of people I had to unfollow. A lot of nasty messages. I unfollowed like 30 people today, so I got like 30 spots open that I will follow you. So I was unfollowing a lot of ungrateful people, and I want to follow people that's actually supportive of the show and not criticize me in a DM. Okay. Let's go to the phone lines. 7067 caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Wiley. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing all right.
I just wanted to comment on the issue with Joe Budden. He did admit he was doing like his regular podcast show and he was talking with his other co-host and he said something about feeling a dog's genitals to give him pleasure. Like, and he kind of said it like, y'all can't tell me y'all never did that. And they was like, no, we've never done nothing like that. And he kind of laughed it off, but he admitted it. And then he said, this is all documented. And what he meant by that was that his baby's mom said she has some court documents, and in the court documents, she's saying that she saw him do that to the dog, and that made her concerned about him being around their son. She said that he was always good to his son and good around the son, and that she was concerned about him, you know, like open kissing him in the mouth. But these are all court papers. These are all court records. So it's definitely happened. I don't know about the video of him actually doing it and there being a video, but he said it on his podcast, and then she said it in the court documents that it was something that he said that it was because dogs don't always have a bitch around to please them, So he feels like they need to be pleased like humans do. And so she said that she saw him actually please him to
Wow.
yeah.
Thank you for
it's definitely out there.
Thank you for calling in.
Right.
Okay. I just want to.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I want to reiterate that those won. Thank you, sister. Those won court documents. So those were like actual court documents. I think they were like lawyer documents, not court documents. 8776 calling on the air.
Hey, Wiley, here again.
Okay.
You know what? These people will have folks locked up underneath the ground. Now, he was he pets his dog. Yeah, he pets his dog. So what? He pets his dog. Okay? I mean, like, what in the world is wrong with folks? Let the man pet his dog. Of course, people gonna put stuff, and when they filing for the custody and trying to get money, people gonna say anything they can. I don't get why folks try to find the worst in people. Do it make them feel better when somebody else is worse? If life has come to this, I ain't sitting up in here updating stuff on my computer, and I said, well, let me just turn on my phone and listen to and see what he's talking about. And I hear all this stuff. Do it make people feel better when somebody else is worse off than them? Is that the problem?
So let me correct this. You're saying that you don't believe that Joe Budden done those things to his dog, and if he did, so what? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, so the hell what? He ain't paying my bills. I ain't paying his bills. He joking about it. He talking about stuff. I don't care. You know how big this world is and how strange this world is. This man ain't out here killing dogs and all this other stuff. This man ain't, I mean, come on. Now, his thing with women in his past, look at the type of women he chose. They were all strippers. All people that, so all of them was top. It was, you know what type of people be up in them strip clubs? You know the mentality of some of these people that are been stripping for trying to get a buck? No, I'm not saying that all strippers are like that, because some of them are doing that to go through school and stuff like that. But those that are like uneducated and they're in these strip clubs and they catching licks, look at the type of women that he dated in the past, and and his recent people. They're not people that they graduated from Harvard or Oxford or went to college, and I have this trade and I have this degree and I have this knowledge and I have these investments. No, these are people that's out trying to get coin.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for calling in.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow. Okay. Yeesh. What in the world? Wow. That lady. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go to the phone lines. 8434, calling you on the air. 8434.
Hello. Good morning, Wiley.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone in the chat.
Good morning.
I'm gonna make it quick. I wanted to just point you in the direction of a couple of videos. Now, OnSite has been following the story, and they have a lot of different videos that they recently have posted. One in particular is showing the Breakfast Club interview where he did with Charlamagne and the rest of them. This was like a long time ago. This is like when the first allegation came out from his ex-girlfriend. I think it's Esther Baxter or something like that. But anyway, they had asked him about it at that time. And he basically stated the exact same thing that the lady had alleged, but he tried to make it seem like he just lightly, dragged her, and he sat underneath her breast, but not on her stomach. Now, anybody with common sense know if you're sitting underneath someone's breast, you're sitting on their stomach. So if you, I can send it on your Instagram if you have one or whatever, so you can kind of see it.
Let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up my IG because people can see something in this DM, so I can do some homework. We're gonna have to revisit this story. But go ahead, sister. Wow, I'm intrigued.
So Unside did post that clip from when he did the interview on the Breakfast Club, and he basically read everything that the woman had initially stated about him. And then also impressive, she put together a nice little video where it showed an old clip when he was on Love and Hip Hop New York. And Tahiri and one of the girls, I want to say her name is Rocky, had an altercation. And he had manhandled the girl Rocky. And so they have an old Vlad TV interview where Rocky brought up, now this is old, so they have an old Vlad TV interview where Rocky brings up that he had like grabbed her around her neck and he was manhandling her after she had an altercation with Tahiri. Some of it was filmed, but she said it was more happened after the fact. And you can kind of see him getting angry and stuff on the clip that they showed from that Love and Hip Hop New York scene when Rocky was a part of the cast. And of course the allegations have been out about him for like years, but like most things, people tend to sweep it under the rug and, people feel like it's a conspiracy, but I mean, these are events that actually have taken place. So you can't make this stuff up. And then the recording of sin, the fact that she even had to record him, even though they might be going through some type of custody battle or whatever, the fact that she had to record him, and she mentioned in those recordings that, so you're gonna drag me again. And then, it's like he was about to say a bit to it, and then he kind of backpedaled a little bit. So if you just look on-site and press the video, you can kind of see the different stuff, the old Vlad TV interview with Rocky, if you piece everything together, everybody's not lying on Joe. Like, everybody's not lying. Regardless of what he has going on with Spotify at this time, those women, those allegations been out, and they were out at separate times. And with the Tahiri thing, people thought that he debunked Tahiri's story because what happened on Marriage Boot Camp with her and Bado. Yes, but Tahiri is known for fighting men and stuff like that, but let's not act like that she's lying about Joe. He only debunked the nose breaking. That's because, she had been through something totally different when she was in the hospital. He never said anything about the broken ribs. He never said anything about throwing her downstairs. He never said anything about the miscarriage. He only brought up the broken nose situation. That was it.
Wow.
But that's all. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So, like I said,
so what you're saying is this is not the first. Okay, I have my Instagram page up on the screen, but this is not the first time it was allegations that he was an abusive man.
No, this is not the first. You had the Esther lady. This was years ago when this allegation was brought out. Then you had the situation with Tahiri. It's resurfaced, but Tahiri made those allegations a long time ago as well. And as far as the nose thing, I gotta find that. But I remember her. I do remember her saying that her nose was broken by a man. She did not say him.
Jeez.
But let's not act like people who are abused don't lie for their abuser. So I don't know if he initially broke her nose, but she mentioned something about it being broken twice. Like, she mentioned something about he knew that her nose had already been broken, and I think that he re-injured it. Now that I have to find, and I'll send it to you, but I do remember her stating that. And then as far as Sin, that, of course, Sin is his previous relationship, so that was recent. And with Rocky, that happened on Love and Hip Hop. So all of these are old allegations. There's nothing new but the Sin one. And I do believe that Sin took this opportunity to kick him while he was down. The fact that you had to record a conversation, the fact that you gave it to a third party, and the fact that it now, while he's going through what he's going through with Spotify and all these other allegations, you leaked it. But it still does not give him the right to be putting his hand on women regardless. But I feel like Sin kicked him while he was down. And she saw this opportunity to go ahead and get someone, or either she did it, to leak that recording. And I think at some point they probably will be going through a custody battle or something like that. But that's just my opinion on Sin in the whole situation. But I'll send you everything that I find so that way you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Well, thank you so very much. Wow.
Oh, you're welcome.
This today, thank you. We will definitely do our proper research with that. Wow, I'm really like lost to words. I'm getting DMs and people are sending DMs in my DM right now regarding the situation. I am speechless. Oh, wow. Okay. Speechless. All right. I am I am speechless. All right. Okay. Let me go to commercial break.
That's right. Bringing you the best in politics and celebrity gossip. This is the Wiley Show.
Listen to that, okay?
Keep it going.
What?
Yes. Have you heard? The Wiley Show is expanding and will now be on Station Head every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's right. Download Station Head today. You won't because you don't want to miss Wiley being raw and unfiltered. The Wiley Show every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Station Head.
Let's do it, y'all. Here's your phone.
Okay. Wow. All right. Okay. So I apologize. I want to have to do more research on that story. But Roland Martin had to say this. Roland Martin said this. I hope you all are paying attention. Look at all of those major media companies announcing deals with Black content creators. But who is getting the lion's share of the money? Who is owning the content? Or are just better paid sharecroppers? Look, Black folks are America's trendsetters and taste makers. But if someone is giving you $1 million, how much are they making? Are you licensing the content or do they own it? Are we also sharing in the revenue? My fear is that what is happening today is similar to when Black music artists sign offer radio deals. We get hype about the attention and accolation, but get screwed on the business end. Ray Charles said, own your masters. And that is still true. Hashtag Roland Martin Unfiltered. I agree. Because if you don't own the content, that's like if Spotify offers me, okay, I'm putting me in there, offers me, okay, Wiley, I'm going to give you $1 million for the Wiley Show. We're going to stream it, $1 million. But we own the rights. I don't know if I would take that deal. Even if I have to give some ownership up, I at least have to own the majority of the show. 80% of it, 40, 60, 70, 80%, I would have to own the majority of the show. I don't know. Because when you're giving up ownership, you lose leverage, right? And if you're giving me $1 million, how much is this really? How much are you going to make in this deal? So it's about all ownership. It's like owning. So I think that's an awesome point of what Roland Martin have said. And of course, I don't know the details of the report. Of the deal that Charlamagne have signed with iHeartMedia Group. I don't know, but I can probably guess that they don't own the content, that iHeart owns the content. I can just guess on that. Wow. Thank you all so very much for tuning into the Wiley Show. Read a couple of y'all comments. We're going to go. Thank you, Joe Whole Fight. People don't get it. Yes, that's just Joe Whole Fight. And Roland Martin put that out there. He just put it out there. So I'm reading y'all comments. Y'all, I don't know what to say, y'all, to be honest. I don't think the information is being compiled for a takedown. However, he did what he did. Just because you are doing better doesn't mean anyone forgot. People will never let you forget. I'm not a fan of Roland Martin, but I agree with him on that point. So I said exactly, black folks are simple sheep. Of course, we stand against abuse, but we need to keep focused on the injustices and the inequality in the industry at the same damn time. They know this. Someone else will pick up Joe's podcast. They said, right, see, Charlamagne the God negotiated. He's throwing shots saying that he negotiate and he don't own ish. You said dogs getting sucked and women, what kind of dog is that? His past came back to bite him in it. Reading the comments said, hey, great show. Wiley, great show. I would like to comment on Joe Budden's alleged situation with the dog. Breeds stimulate animals all the time to ejaculate, and it's legal because they freeze the sperm for selling at a later time to injection it into a female once she is of age to become pregnant. Some also stimulate the male when he have okay. All right. So that is somebody in the comments is calling in on Facebook said that. So if you want to call in and give that point for that, there are no dogs getting to into women. What are you talking about? That is what a comment. This is what a person said on Facebook. That's what that person. They left a big, gigantic comment on Facebook. Y'all see that? Y'all see that comment? I didn't say it. That was one of the comments that was said on there. A big comment somebody wrote on there. Y'all see that comment? It's a big, gigantic comment on there. So if y'all believe that, let me know in the comments. Do y'all agree with what that caller, with what that viewer is saying? That's what that caller has said, and it's on your screen. Wow. It's Charlamagne. The Black Event Network does not mean he owns it. So I don't know. I didn't look at the contract. I didn't look at the contract. Do he owns the deal? I didn't look at the contract. That's true. That's true what the caller posted. Okay, Nikki said that's true. Oh my. I think he owned it. He would have said owned. Okay. So somebody said that it's true what the caller have said. He's just deserving of whatever treatment he receives. I want people to keep the same energy that we have with all abusers. All right. Thank you all so very much for tuning into the Wiley Show. Make sure you all leave a comment. How many of the likes that we're doing with the likes? Let's see what we're doing with the likes. We should have over 100 likes today, but it's okay. We don't have it. We'll get it after the show probably. How are we doing? Probably 50-some likes. Oh, we almost there. Thank y'all so much. We got 82 likes. We got 83 likes. Thank y'all. God bless you all for liking the show. Okay. Did I read that correctly? I can imagine how many people the world Googled something about Samanth's dog today. Yuck. I was about to eat, but ill by Wiley. Maybe he did that, perhaps. But the way he joked about it was neither what the guy just informed us of. Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. That was a great show, very informative, great show. Thank you. Let's be real, not meant for the owner. Some people can't handle all the pressure. Yes. Also, my birthday is November 11th, you guys. I'm excited for that. If you are sending donations, some people are sending via Cash App, PayPal. Some people is even sending items to the P.O. Box. All of that information, it is in the description. And if you send me a DM, if you're sending me a size or you want to know my size and you're not sure, you can always DM me on Instagram. I answer Instagram and I answer my emails on the regular. So I get those messages. And if I'm available, I will answer it. So if you send me a DM right now, I will get it and I will send it to you. And I will never forget it. So if you are going to contribute, my birthday is November 11th, and I will be 30 years old. I can't wait. It's going to be great. I'll be 30 years old. 30 years old, by the way. And that will be November 11th. November 11th, I'll be 30 years old. 30 years old on November 11th. Do a gift registry, or people just send gifts. You know, some people love to send gifts. and everything and send donations. I rather prefer a donation. I get my own stuff, but if you send it to the PO box, I wear it. Most people that send stuff, they have already sent it. They have sent some things. They're gonna send like clothes and different things of that nature. I want $1 per year because that's most need for me. I can't wait. Just can't wait for that. All right, can't wait. So send me a DM, and yeah, I'm here for it. Yes. Let me see. I remember my 30s. Oh, I'll be 30 years old. Get up in age. I'm happy though. Nobody loud. I'm a Scorpio, and I'm here for it. Would work well if Black women Jen volunteered to be part of the Herd and Joe. Wow. Okay. I'm hearing your comments. Please forget that content creators, media talent, entertainers need to focus on ownership. You're right about that. Coming live. Thank you. We definitely need to focus on ownership. So shout out to you. Shout out to you, Wiley Scorpio Love. You know my birthday is November 12th. Shantae's birthday is November 12th. Mine's November 11th. You Scorpio all day. Thank you, loved ones. I love y'all. Thank you, producers. Do not say if they give you a big check that you are equal to them. Thank you, loved ones. I'm right here. I'm on November 9th. What the Scorpios in the building? We got November 13th. Okay. Yes. Come through, Scorpios in the building.
Yes. Have you heard?
Okay, Scorpios in the building. Yes, Scorpios is in the building. Come through. I am here for all the Scorpios in the building. Just sell your souls. If you give it a big check, they are making 3 times as much off of you. Somebody said November 12th. All right, thank you all so very much. I will see y'all soon. Peace. Gotta go. This is show. Oh, it wasn't that lengthy. It was only an hour and 33 minutes. It wasn't that lengthy. I'll talk to y'all later.